welcome to my Flagstaff home. Today I'm going to do a video that's going to be something I'm going to start doing once a month, and that is my home and garden favorites. So over on my other channel at Busy Being Jen, I do that every month with beauty and bath product kind of things, but I thought that doing a favorites video on my Flagstaff home that was home and garden stuff would be appropriate. So I have 4 things to tell you about today that were favorites of mine in the month of June. The first one, and maybe I'm the last person on the planet to try this stuff, but I've seen these in stores for a long time, but just tried it. It's Mrs. Meyer's brand, and it's a multi-surface everyday cleaner. I use this on my countertops. What I really like is that it does a really good job and doesn't seem to leave like a cloudy film on the granite in my kitchen. Also, the other thing I really like is that most cleaners, like a 409 or something like that, leave the kitchen smelling like chemicals or bleach. And these have really nice scents. You can choose different ones. This one is basil, and it does smell like basil, but not exactly like it. It smells kind of like basil mixed with soap. So every time I use it, I'm just thinking, oh wow, I'm so glad it smells like this. So anyway, this has been a really good one, and the other great thing about Mrs. Meyer's products is that they are environmentally friendly, so that's a great thing too. So my other home product is actually something I've been using for a long time, but I've been drawn to it a lot in the past month, and that is a kind of salt. It's called Maldon salt. Maldon is not a brand. It is actually a kind of salt, and it's not the kind that you would put in a salt shaker. It's not the kind that you would take if a recipe calls for a teaspoon of salt thrown in. You don't use this for it. It's actually flaky, and so you wouldn't want to grind it up, because the purpose of it is that it's like these little flakes. I keep it in a little dish on the countertop, and the purpose of it is that it is a finishing salt. So say, for example, and of course I'm thinking of pasta because that's my favorite food. So say I dish up a bowl of pasta, then I take some of this and sprinkle it over the top. It does add a little bit of salty flavor, obviously it's a salt, but it also adds a nice little crunch to your food. Every so often you get a little crunch of this stuff, and I just think it's nice to get that flavor as well as a little extra texture. So, over on my blog at myflagstaffhome.com, which I will link the exact post below, I'm going to put a link for where you can get this. I think this one I got a while back from Amazon.com, but because it's not a brand, it's just a kind of salt, you can find it in different places, so the box won't necessarily look like this. Okay, yeah, so those were the 2 things for in the home. And then there were 2 things that I want to mention that I have been really loving in the garden. They are both kind of serving the same purpose in a flower garden I have. Now, I use the word flower garden delicately because right now I don't have a whole lot of flowers in my flower garden. I live in Flagstaff, and it's a colder part of Arizona. We have a very short growing season. Our growing season officially begins the middle of June and ends the middle of September, and we can get a 50% chance of frost on either end of that. So my flower garden plants have just started, I mean, they're growing quite well, but I have a whole lot of green and not a whole lot of blossoms. So I picked up a few things that have been really nice and have added some color while I'm waiting for those plants to actually blossom. So the first thing are these little things called poppy sways. So let me pop in a picture for you. These are adorable little things that come in 3 different colors. You buy them in a set of 3, and I think you can even buy a set of like 9, which is what I had gotten. But yeah, so I'll link that too, where it comes from the Gardener's Supply Company, and it's gardeners.com, but I'll link that for you at my blog. And so these things are really cute. They obviously put color in the garden, but they also, whenever there's a breeze, they kind of sway a little bit, hence the name Poppy Sways. And also, they will catch water if it rains, or if you're watering your garden, they'll catch a little bit of water. They kind of sit slanted, so it's not like they're going to completely fill up unless you put them that way, straight up. If you put them straight up, you wouldn't be able to see the color. So they're kind of slanted, but they'll hold a little bit of water, so any little visitors to your yard, like birds or butterflies or anything like that, can get a drink as they're flying past your garden. So those have been really cute. And the other thing that I've been really loving has served the same purpose, and that is these things called hollyhock stakes. And you can buy them in singles, but you can also get them in a set of 3, which is what I did. They're way taller than the poppy sways, and I have them in the back of my garden. Let me go ahead and show you what these look like. So yeah, they just stand up there and add this colorful background to the green that's in front. They don't hold water or anything like that. You can't, when they come to you, the whole thing is sort of flat, and then you can move the pieces of the flowers and the leaves out to give it a little bit of dimension. But I have so loved having that little cheerfulness in my garden while I'm waiting for the flowers to actually bloom. So yeah, so that's been really fun. So like I said, I will link these things to gardeners.com so you can, so you can check those things out too. But yeah, those are the things that I have been loving in the month of June. I will be back next month with my home and garden favorites for July. And if you had any things that you were loving in the month of June in your home or out in your yard, I'd love to hear about that. So please post a comment below. If you're not currently subscribed to my channel, I'd so love it if you would. So just hit that button right there. YouTube will let you know when I upload new videos, which is a couple times a week. So anyway, you guys, I hope you're doing well. Thanks so much for watching, and take care. Bye-bye.